Thank you for considering sharing your gospel content and materials with the FreshAir Gospel Library, the Smithsonian of all gospel information. But let me be clear right up front. I am not selling any software or database. I am not looking for investors, and I am not trying to raise any money. This entire library and database system is just one part or one network under a master network of 30 networks. So let me go on. The library has 5 tiers. First, we want to collect all the recorded video sermons and Christian television shows that have ever been recorded. We want to collect every audio sermon and every radio program that's ever been recorded. We want to collect every Christian book that's ever been written, published, and unpublished, and every digital and audio book that we can get our hands on. We want to collect all the Christian music, audio and video, all the hymnals, all the sheet music, and even the MIDI files. We want to collect all the newspaper articles, all the magazine articles, and all the things that have taken place over the last 100 years plus. So we have a place to document everything that's happened in Christendom over the last 100 plus years. But even more than that is to preserve the Word. Under my system that I created, 2 things are going to happen. When you cooperate with me and you give me your gospel material, it'll be on hard drive and it'll be stored. And it'll be safe forever. Nothing will ever happen. We'll have the Word preserved. But not only will we have the Word preserved, but we're going to have it available to the public on a server 24/7 with a database so they can get down and search what they need to know. You know, the Word works, but you got to work it. But if you don't know what part of the Word to work, how do you work it? Well, with this database, they can get to the part of the Word that they need to get to. This database and interface that I built here is just simply to collect all of this gospel material from you. And then what I'm using it for is I have a specialty internet hosting company that can take what I'm doing, because the technology that I've based this on is called IPTV, Internet Protocol Television. You probably know it as on-demand video or television. But I've expanded it to be on-demand audio, on-demand for books, whether they're digital or whatever, on-demand for, using it in music, and the 5 tiers here for my library I've created. So this is the interface for us to use this technology to preserve the Word and make the Word available to everybody. Here's how you get me the Word and how we work together. The main menu, of course, is right here. Enter data, open a search, open a report, exit the program. Enter data. Okay, so here's a network or a ministry that has video ministry, sermons, or television shows. I've put a couple in here just as samples. And to start at the top, we have an audio or auto number. The auto number, you're never going to have to think about it, but this is to protect us against having a record in there twice. We have a hard drive identity or ID. Okay, that is pretty obvious. You're going to have a hard drive you're going to send me, and on that hard drive is going to be all your information. Then as the network, I'm going to have an ID that I assign you that you're going to use on your hard drive to identify your ministry. Okay, now some people would say, well, why would I want to give you my ministry, if you're going to this, that, or the other? I don't want anything for this. Okay, I'm giving them direct access to you. So there, as you can see, ministry link. Okay, they can get directly to you. Okay, whatever network it is, obviously in this case it would be TBN. The television show would be Praise the Lord. I've, of course, made all these up. Bill Winston would be a guest. Paula White would be a guest. Whitecross would be the musical guest. Sandy Patty. The main topic would be giving. The subtopics would be receiving and faith. And as you can see, I've broken it down into different types of teaching. The fundamental, full gospel, Catholic teaching, non-denominational, and denominational. Because we don't want to try to fool people into things. We want to give them what they need. That's the whole idea, to get them to the Word of God where their answer is, so they don't turn to something else. Another thing about this database or interface that I'm working with you on is that every page will get you to all the other pages. Okay, so once all this information is in here, as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go over it just in case. Okay, so if this was a teaching and the teacher had materials, charts, or whatever that would go with it, then he could attach those here. So when the public goes to it, they would watch the video and have the materials. And then here I have watched the program. Now I didn't engage anything for this particular presentation because that's really between me and the internet hosting company and the broadcast people, which command I need to give it or protocol in order to broadcast and use their system. So that's something that'll change as we use it. Of course, program notes, anything that would matter. First record, previous record, add a record, next record, last record, delete a record, save the record. Now, after you've put this in here, and obviously you can, go to the next one and the next one, as that would be. Okay, then you would go, if you decided you need to search something, you would search. Okay, so let's see. You wouldn't necessarily be doing anything with the hard drives or anything like that, but you would look out the sermon titles. Anything that would have been put into the database is now available. So you can pick whatever you want to search through. Same with the names of the program or the ministry. So anything that's entered into the database when you go to search will be available to you. Now again, this is just the interface for us to collect this information, store it, and then from there we'll do what we need to do to make it available to the public and do everything else. This is not the interface that the public would see. Now we have a couple other interfaces here. The book interface looks like this. It's broken slightly different, a little bit smaller. When you go to the search, it's way smaller, but it's broken down, quite differently. Published, unpublished, self-published, fiction, non-fiction, biography, autobiography, children's books, and audio books. I really had to think about where audio books go. Do they go with the audio ministry, but I ended up putting it with the books. And then again, the teaching divisions here. Okay. And then let's see, the other one is the one that we were already looking at. And then there's this. Okay, this would be here if you have a library of information, like when I'm talking about collecting all the information of historic things that took place. The Billy Graham Library would be such a perfect example of where some of that information would be collected from. So in that case, you would say the city, the state, the country, the place if it was an event, and the source if it would be a newspaper or a television news company type thing, NBC, CBS, whatever. And then the creator, if it would be, Charles Kuralt or whoever it would be back then. And then the subject matter, I guess it could be political if it was historic or whatever it might be. And then the people that would be involved, if it would be a president, a prime minister, anything like that. And then In this particular category, we did lump the audio, the video, the print material, the pictures, and everything in one because it's its own category. So there'd be video clips if it was a television news type of a story to do with anything. If it was an audio clip on a radio type show, a photograph could be a newspaper article or just the photograph, and then the article itself could be with or without the picture. And then I put library item because it could be an actual item that was served or something. And then I have a picture here. This would apply to the book database also. The cover of the book would be displayed, but in this case it would be the article or whatever. Any one of the interfaces can have anything from another interface, but I had to divide it a certain way in order to make it searchable without confusion or disruption. Now, once you've figured out what you're going to search for, whatever sermon or topic item that you're going to look up. Now, in this case, I built this for all of you to be able to print out your report or do whatever. You go to open report or run a query. You open the report and then there it is. Everything you asked for is right there. You can print it out if you choose to. Now, I don't know why you'd print it out, but you could print it out if you needed to. Now, this would be not the interface, again, the public would see. What they would see when they do the search would be icons that would take them directly to the watch the program.